Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to ZOL head office here in Borodale in Harare. My name is Penny Pangetti. Today is an exciting Friday. I haven't been here in a little while. I hope you guys have missed me, but I'm back. It's been interesting. We've had a good few weeks. We had an interesting one talking gaming last week. That was a lot of interest there. Today we'll be talking drones, and I'm going to be learning a lot because this is not something I know, but I'm curious about them, but I don't know enough about them. And Tawanda will be with me a little later to discuss everything to do with drones. But before we get into that, let's get some business out of the way. First of all, we are coming to the end of the month. It is the end of the month today, actually. And so we certainly hope that everyone's gone and made sure you've paid your subscription so that you're not cut off. You want to stay connected. Make sure you do that before the month ends. Exciting times. It's not just about paying your bills. There's a fantastic promotion currently running with ZOL, and that's the Pause for Rewards promotion. So this is you earning Pause, and then you stand a chance to win big. I'll tell you quite a little bit about it as we go on. So this Pause for Rewards promotion has been running since the 9th of July, and it's going to end on the 30th of November. So loads of time for you to collect your Pause and win some awesome prizes. So this is only open to home users, which is you guys, I'm sure. And if you've already started collecting some of your Pause, do let us know on our page and let us know what you're excited to get. So there's two sets of prizes. We have the grand draw, which is the big one, and I'll tell you a little bit about that one. But there's monthly prizes as well. So you could win a smart TV, a washing machine, home theater, a hi-fi microwave, or even a smartphone. Everyone needs a smartphone. So those are just the monthly prizes. And then, of course, you have the grand draw. There's cars to be won, a washing machine as well. Fantastic things for you as well. So this is a great opportunity for you. So I'm sure you're wondering, how does it work? For every $15 that you spend with ZOL, you get a PAW. You get extra PAWs for paying via EcoCash using the USSD code and just making sure that you are up. And if you want to find out more details about it, of course, you can go to the website and find out how it works. So each PAW is an entry into the monthly draws where you could win over 60 fantastic prizes. And I was telling you about some of those just now. And it's not just those prizes as well. You can also get free hotel accommodation and even airplane tickets. So that's really awesome. So what you do is you collect one PAW for every $15 that you spend on your bills that are paid in full for qualifying home services only. I must stress that out. It's not for business customers. So you get an extra PAW when you pay using the MyZOL app, and you can have that either on your iOS or on your Android or on the website as well using EcoCash or using the mobile app, as I said. That's the payment platforms. And then you get an extra PAW if you pay before the 1st of each month. So I encourage you to do that already. So get doing that so you can get your PAWs. So you can then go on the MyZOL app to see how many of those PAWs you have collected, and only invoices that are settled in full will be considered for PAWs. So that's all you need to remember. Get as many PAWs as you can get and win some of those awesome prizes. As I mentioned, we'll be taking a quick break, but when we come back, Tawanda will be joining us and we'll be talking all things to do with drones. If you do have questions, please send them through and hopefully you and I both can be educated on this one. And of course, if you've got any other ZOL related questions, this is the platform for you. So don't hesitate to send them through now. Keep watching. Welcome back. And as I mentioned, Tawanda is with us now and we're talking all things to do with drones. I'm super excited because Tawanda came in with what looked like a full suitcase of gear. And the last time I've seen anything like that is one of those war movies on TV. So I'm excited to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
It's good to be here, Penny. Thank you.
So drones, you would assume because everyone's talking about them that everyone knows what they really are. But what's a drone?
Well, a drone basically is an unmanned aerial vehicle. So typically it comes in different forms, different sizes, normally pretty small, just like what we've got here, different display. Also known as unmanned aerial vehicles.
Right.
So that's the interchangeable term that people use, either a drone or unmanned aerial vehicle.
Right. So what can drones do? I mean, I was just, reading up before I came and trying to, sound clued up on what drones do. And I was reading an interesting story actually from Rwanda where drones are being used to deliver medication to remote places.
Yes.
So what uses are there for drones?
Well, the drone, I call it drone industry. It's,
Okay.
and the uses for it are, there's so many of them across several different sectors or business industries. So drones nowadays, we're now in 2018, drones have actually grown. The use for the drones has grown exponentially to a certain extent, I would say, over the last 2 to 3 years. And right now, drones are being used in different spheres, including agriculture. Agriculture is a big thing for drones, especially. And bringing in drones into the agricultural ecosystem is something that the world over people are doing and adopting at a very fast rate. Here also in Zimbabwe, it's something that we need to also get into doing that. But other uses for it are in construction, in mining, in emergency services, like you mentioned in Rwanda. They use drones primarily there for emergency relief services. So they're using drones in Rwanda to deliver blood and critical medical samples to remote areas. So normally you would use a car and that kind of thing, but
Sure.
they found that drones can get there a lot quicker and more efficiently and drop it off right where a clinic is or where a house is where they need to deliver it.
Wow.
So they're able
Okay.
to save lives just using drones. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all the big kind of important stuff, right? But for personal use, what would a person use a drone for? What do I need my drone for?
Well, I would say it's definitely something. Nowadays you've got a phone.
Sure.
You should have a drone as well.
Right? I should have one.
Yeah, especially now when everyone loves like taking selfies and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Getting that different view, drones just bring a different perspective, a different view to a lot of things. So be it at your house, I don't think you've ever really taken a look at what your house looks like from that kind of view.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now like some of the things we're talking about and what we're doing is drone racing.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, which is a new thing, but it's really taking off, and I think it's definitely something you'd probably love.
Okay, drone racing, and we'll talk a bit more about that. So I'm a beginner, a novice.
Sure.
If I wanted to get a drone, where would I start? What's a good one for a beginner?
Wow. So for me to answer that, first of all, I would definitely say you have to have a reason, a purpose for what you want to use it for.
Sure.
So if you're a hobbyist or what I call hobbyist, or someone who just who wants to be able to get a different perspective, whether they going on holiday, when they go on holiday, or they hang out with their friends and that kind of thing, there's what we call camera drones. Camera drones are the ones that are most popular.
Sure.
And most people have those type of drones, and they come in different sizes, like I'm saying, and they have different capabilities depending on how much you want to spend on it. If you want to have it just for fun, to fly around and you're not trying to get these amazing kind of shots, then definitely you would start with some of the ones that we have here today. Which you can use in your yard or wherever it is. Even in the office.
Oh, okay. You can fly them indoors as well.
You can fly them indoors as well.
Okay.
So it really just comes down to: are you trying to have fun, or are you also trying to get like cool images and high resolution images, or do you want to actually use it for business, for work? Because you can do that too.
Sure. So if you love drones, do let us know. Do you already have a drone, or are you like me, someone who knows nothing about them, but you have some healthy curiosity? Do let us know. I'll post some messages there and we'll be getting to them. So how long can a drone fly?
Fly for? Oh.
Yeah, how long does it fly for? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the part, and a lot of people get surprised by that because drone technology is advancing so quickly, but the battery part of it, the technology hasn't grown as fast. So typically, some of the bigger consumer drones and the ones that last longer, you're looking at 30 minutes. Up to about 30 minutes per battery or per charge. The smaller ones, start from like 5 minutes. Yeah, so.
Okay, so we do have a prize that we're going to give away at the end of today's filming, and the question we're asking is, typically how long would a drone be able to fly for? And so depending on what package you're on ZOL, you will give you 1 free month. So that's the question we're asking you: how long could a drone typically fly for? So send through your answers and you can get yourself a free month worth of ZOL. Okay, so you mentioned flying my drone over my house. I'm thinking there may be some rules pertaining to that. So is it legal to fly drones over private property?
Actually, it's not per se legal necessarily to say you can just fly over people's houses.
Sure.
If it's your house, I understand it's fair and fine. But with the actual regulations themselves, that's something that's definitely being worked out with the Civil Aviation Authority of Zimbabwe and with the regulations in this country as well. It's to also allow people who are drone owners and hobbyists to be able to fly and hopefully create spaces where people can go and fly recreationally as well, thereby protecting people, private citizens, as well as allowing people who want to fly drones, to have a place to fly. So you'll find that some people, you might be at your house there and then you're outside and then all of a sudden you have this thing flying over your head, and people
that's a little disconcerting. I don't want that over in my yard.
That's a bit too close. I mean, you don't know who is on the other end
and what are they doing
and why and the purpose and that kind of thing. But a lot of it is really education. A lot of people have a weird perception or a different perspective of what drones can do or what they should be used for, or someone spying on me.
Sure.
And it's not to say that someone's doing that necessarily, and you don't know what type of drone that person is flying and how far that thing can see. So it's an area where like we're working with to try and help with the regulations and understand what are the limits, what are the limitations, and to create safe spaces for people to be able to fly. Yeah.
Do you think there's openness on the part of regulators here to start opening up those spaces? I would imagine it's slightly different in other countries where perhaps the technology has moved on a little bit faster than we have.
Well, yeah, I think there's definitely scope for that. And though we haven't necessarily our laws aren't, they haven't been modified yet or put out to a place where it's very clear about what we can do and what we shouldn't do, and like I'm saying, the safe spaces for us to do certain things. But I think there's definitely hope and there's room for us.
Sure.
We can definitely borrow from what other countries are doing. South Africa is done really well with their laws. America is well ahead with obviously drone regulations and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But surprisingly enough, they're actually quite also pretty strict. They're pretty strict as well.
I would imagine.
Yeah, they're pretty strict.
Because airspace is not a place that you would just want to play around with, right?
Exactly.
So before we get into talking about kind of the things that I need to know when I want to buy a drone, I'm curious to hear from you how you got into drones, because you're a little bit more than a hobbyist by the sound of it, right? I mean, you're not just doing this for fun. So tell me, how did you get into it?
Well, actually, it's fun. For me, I love it. I get a thrill.
You're a nerd, basically.
Well, I mean, look, you can call it what it is. But honestly, like for me, on the weekend, I love flying drones. And it's something I also do with my kids as well now, little boys and stuff like that. So I find fun.
Your kids fly drones?
Yes, I'm training them and teaching them how to fly drones.
So I need to be able to do this too, because I'm feeling a little embarrassed now. So how did it move from a hobby to something else?
You know what? It was actually a funny story though. A friend of mine, he's a programmer and that kind of thing, and he got an amazing opportunity to go to Rwanda. And he went and saw what they have, and in Rwanda they have a drone airport, which is what I was telling you about, which is the emergency relief services. So he went there, right? And when he came back, we were working on some projects together and stuff, and he talked to me about this drone thing, and I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. I went online and I saw and I did research and started seeing it, and then I went deep. And I started finding out there's a whole
And you haven't come back. You're still there.
I'm still there. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. So let's say I want to buy a drone, and you have tons here. Maybe you can talk us through some of them.
Sure.
What things should I be looking out for? What should I know before I decide that I want to buy a drone?
Definitely, I would say going back again. There's the purpose. There's two different types of drones.
Okay.
Right. That I want to talk about today. Number one is the camera drone, which is the most popular one. Most people have those here in Zimbabwe and around the world. Then you have racing drones, which is a different build altogether. So the difference is that the camera drones, like the one we have behind here, is really built around the camera, right? And protecting the camera so that you can get amazing footage, shots and that kind of thing, whether photography or cinematography, aerial cinematography. Then you have drones, right? Racing drones, sorry. Which here you can see it's more robust and what I mean. They have cameras as well, but for drone racing specifically, the build is very strong. So you can see this is pretty robust and that kind of thing. If you were to
and it
crash
doesn't look
this,
fancy at all.
Yeah, so if you were to crash this, it'll be fine. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't
Can I pick
be
it
too
up?
worried. Yeah, sure, pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you were to crash this, it'll be fine. You wouldn't be too worried about that. Whereas a camera drone,
that one's really fancy.
You drop that thing, you're gonna be out of pocket quite a bit. So drone racing is actually an emerging sport that's actually grown worldwide. It's a high-speed competitive sport, and basically it's people who are racing around a racetrack or a race course that's set up, and they do what's called like 3D courses. So people fly through different obstacles and around certain things. Wow, that sounds amazing. And what they use is actually here. A set of goggles. Yeah. So basically, typically you have the camera that's on the front of the drone. You'd be guided using that. This. And this is similar. A lot of people think it's VR. It's not really VR. So basically, this is a head display. So there's a screen on the front there. So you'll be seeing exactly what the drone is seeing.
the camera is taking from there.
So that's what guides you as you're flying around the different courses and that kind of thing. Wow. So that's a sport where people are actually even making money.
Do people play that sport here?
That's what we're trying to start.
You're trying to encourage people to start doing that.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about the difference between the camera drone behind us and the racing drone, and you mentioned that this one you'd probably be okay to have it fall down or crash or whatever, but that one not. Let's talk a bit about price. How expensive are drones? I'm imagining that this is less expensive than that one.
Yeah.
Or no?
Yes. Typically. But the size doesn't necessarily determine the price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you have camera drones which are
size doesn't matter. He just said it.
Yeah, size doesn't matter. So you have so this little one here, a little quadcopter. I love this, using this for training. This is full manual. So there's a difference between the camera drones. Typically come with stabilization. So it's like autopilot. So you press a button, it goes up to a certain level, it hovers and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It helps you to fly. It's pretty easy to fly.
Really?
Yeah, pretty easy to learn.
I could fly it.
You could fly it.
Okay.
This one, however, entry level for me this one is full manual. So you have to learn how to control it yourself. Like literally
so
get
that's
it into
like
the air
an automatic car.
This
is manual. Okay,
right. So
I think I like that instead. Okay.
So racing drones are manual.
Okay.
In a sense, yeah.
So you get the feel of it, and you're really controlling everything: how fast it's going, how high it's going, and stabilizing it as well.
Yes, you're stabilizing it. So the additional thing to the camera drones is when a racing drone, you're stabilizing it. As well. So that's the interesting part. But like what you were saying about the price, you can get camera drones that are this small, probably not as small as this, but small camera drones that are probably the size of my hand, that cost more than this one or something slightly bigger than this.
Okay.
Mainly because of the camera. So it's built, like I was saying, around the camera. Right. Whereas this is a beautiful example because this is something we built ourselves.
Yes, that was going to be my next thing about building your own drones.
So this one is very modular. So that means you can, put different parts on it and that kind of thing. You can see there's no brand. It's not a branded type of thing. It's not off the shelf. So the motors we've got them from somewhere else, and the actual frame is 3D printed. And then we got these different parts, and we actually got some of the nuts and bolts here locally.
Okay.
And then the circuitry and all that kind of stuff, we actually got that from somewhere else. So you can get different pieces and literally put this thing together, and you've got your own racing drone.
Sounds to me like, those things that people used to have back in the day where you got parts from a magazine and then you put them together this week and then next week add something else. So if a person is into that sort of fiddly thing, this would be quite fun for them to do.
Yes. So this is actually good from an education standpoint. This would actually work very well for the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics thing, because this fits right in there because there's coding involved. A little bit of programming. There's electronics involved. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it could really work across different cases. And I think we need to get to a point where we can actually bring this in and build our own here in Zimbabwe.
That sounds exciting. So do you need the internet to fly a drone? What do you need? What are the basics?
Well, the internet's key along the whole process.
Okay.
Because for you to even start with, locally we don't have companies that are selling proper drones.
Okay, so you'd have to get them outside the country or have someone bring them in?
Yeah, so definitely from a point of research to start off with. You've got to be able to go online and look at the different places, look what the options, look at what your needs are, right? And then be able to come to a decision. Then at the same time with our camera drone specifically, we use another application. So to run that thing, you need an application which I use here on my phone.
Sure, okay.
So on my phone or my iPad. So typically I would plug that in and use the application to fly the drone. So the application helps me to fly the drone.
Ah, yeah. Even easier.
Yes.
Okay.
So with the phone, you plug that in, and then it basically acts as another monitor or a screen, which shows you what that camera's
what
seeing.
the camera's seeing.
So this one can fly like far. This one can go like 5 to 7 kilometers away.
Really?
So I could be standing here and send it, way over there, and I'll be using this to guide that. So a lot of that requires the internet, and you need a strong internet connection. You don't need it necessarily to fly every single time you're going out to fly, but to keep the updates, to make sure you synchronize all your, the flight plans and all the different things that you'll be doing. The internet is so important for us to be able to do that. So it's not just
kind of getting the drone and then you're up and running. The other things that you need to do, you're talking about updating the app if you're using an app, and perhaps doing more research, particularly if you're building your own things. I'm sure you'd need the internet to do that as well. Okay, interesting. Too much information for me, I have to say. So, there's tons to talk about and lots of gear here. Can you talk us through some of this? This is beautiful. That's a beautiful piece. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this was one of my first racing drones. So this is an off-the-shelf one. So you can see here
You can see the difference between,
yeah. But you'll be surprised to note that this one is faster than this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So really just depending, like I said, on your motors. But this one, you get it off the shelf, and it's got a camera on the front here.
Sure.
Then what you do is when you switch it on and you plug it in, you'll be able to see what it can see using the goggles. And you can typically fly this thing around and that kind of thing. The battery life on this is about 12 minutes on this, so I keep a ton of batteries. So
so you can just make sure you're replacing it and keep going.
And keep going. So I love flying this thing around. It's quick, it's agile, and it comes with a massive controller like this.
Wow,
so you can
that's
see this,
huge.
See that?
All these bits and bobs.
So if you don't so if you don't have the goggles, there's a monitor right here, which then shows you as well what it's doing there. So you can see this looks pretty hectic. But again, like I said, this is full manual, so it's got all sorts of gizmos and things that you use typically when you're flying any sort of aircraft. You'd use this. So it requires a little bit of energy and effort.
It looks like it.
To learn. But once you learn, it's just fun.
So do you have to ensure you're in kind of wide open spaces to be able to do this?
It depends on, again, like I said, on the size. So
the size of it.
So outside is preferred, but you can fly like this little one in your house, and some that are a bit smaller, and you guys could actually create something in your house and through your corridors and that kind of thing.
Yeah, a little obstacle course in the house.
Or if you're lazy and you want to spy on someone, you can just stick a camera on the top and just
spying. That's a whole other thing we didn't even discuss. Okay, so we're fast running out of time, but if someone's interested, particularly in the side of building, which I find quite interesting, and also perhaps getting into the racing, how would someone begin, particularly doing it here when the community is not that big? Is it a community of one? Like, how would a person start doing it?
Yeah, we're actually working on growing the drone racing community. We've had probably about 5 or 6 events so far. We've got 2 planned over the next 2 months as well, where we're just trying to get out there and just spread the love for drones, specifically drone racing. Drone racing is much easier for people to get into because it's just fun.
And it's competition. People love competition.
And it doesn't cost you a lot to get involved. So what we're doing is we're creating, we're building the community right now. We've got probably just over 30 people we've got in our community, and what we're doing is we've got monthly meetups where we meet up and we fly and and share information and talk about different things and talk about the regulations, talk about all sorts of things. So with that, we're trying to grow that to a place where we can have our own drone racing league, where we can then compete with other countries as well, because other countries compete, and other countries are actually having like real competitions, national championships and that kind of thing, and people actually like race and make money from drone racing.
Make money. You should have said that at the beginning. So I hope you've learned loads. Remember that we said we're running a competition where you can win 1 month supply of your Wi-Fi there. If you answer that simple question where we were talking about how long can a drone fly for. So if you've got a correct answer, we'll pick at the end, and you can get your opportunity to win that 1 month free, depending on whatever package you are. And just remember to pay up before the month is up and collect your pause, so you can be one of those people winning those awesome prizes. Tawanda, thanks again for getting us excited about all of this. Can you quickly fly something for us before we have to head off?
Let's do
this cute green one.
All right.
Before we head out.
Let's do this. All right, cool. Are we ready? So this
there
one.
It goes. Wow.
What?
And it crashed.
So that's good.
Yeah, so that's awesome, and thank you so much. We just wanted to try and make sure we find someone who's won the prize here, the free month supply worth of your Wi-Fi there. Let's just see if we can get it now, quickly. Okay, just give me 1 second, then we'll get there and see our winner for today. And always participate in these competitions that we have. We want to make sure that you engage with us and get an opportunity to win some awesome prizes, aside from the prizes that you get when you enter the competition, the pause for rewards. It's taking me a little while to get to our winners, but we'll announce. Someone will pass me over. Okay.
All right,
so we asked that question where we were saying, typically, how long does it take for a drone to fly?
So
let's see.
Who do we have?
Make sure we get someone here. Tonda, do you want to have a look? Just see.
Yeah, let me see.
We're getting there. We're seeing a few answers that aren't correct, which is why it's taking us a little time. Yeah. Okay, there's someone.
Right, so
that's Risk Matia. Risk Matia is correct. So Risk, you win yourself 1 month supply, whether of Fibronics or Wibronics, depending on what you are on. So we'll be contacting you soon, and you'll win your awesome prize. Tawanda, thanks again.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll be teaching me soon how to race those drones.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
Cool.